Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a palette bingo using the new GlamLite Ice Cream Dream palette. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to do a comparison between this palette and the GlamLite Cake palette. So if that sounds interesting, stick around. We are going to get started in just a moment. Before we do, if you're new here, hi, I'm Annie. I am a 40-something lover of color who believes you can have fun with color at any age. If that sounds fun or interesting, if you'd like to see a little more color on your timeline, if you love colorful makeup and indie makeup as much as I do, and as much as I know all of my subscribers here do, I would love it if you would stick around and join us by subscribing below. Do keep in mind, I am not a trained makeup artist. I am just someone who really loves to play with and talk about makeup, especially indie brands. So has exactly one person in her life who is at all willing to listen to her. So here I am. Anyhow, like I said, we are going to do a palette bingo with this palette, and then I'm going to compare some of the shades in this palette to the Cake palette. I was going to do like a dedicated video comparing the two, but when I sat down and really looked at them and started swatching them, I noticed while there are some shades that are very similar, I don't think that you can get eye looks that are the same out of these palettes. If that made any sense at all, I'm not sure. So like I couldn't do an eye look with this palette and then do the same eye look with this palette. Does that make sense? I hope so, maybe. So I will go ahead and put a comparison at the end of this video. All right, so I guess let's go ahead and pull the shades for the palette bingo. The way, of course, I'm going to do this is I am going to open it up first, and I'm going to go from here across, and there are, oh gosh, how many shades are in here again? There are 30 shades in here, so I'm going to, of course, set my random.org to 1 through 30, and we will just go across this way. All right, so let's start my screen recorder. All right, so starting with 1 and we are going to 30. Let's go ahead and generate the first number. The first number is 12. So 5, 10, and that is going to be the shade Gelato, which is this shade right here. It's a beautiful shimmer shade. We are just going to go ahead. I forgot to say I'm going to pull 6 shades. I'm going to swatch it on the back of my hand right here. So that is shade 1, the shade Gelato. Then let's go ahead and generate the next number. The next number is 5, which is French Vanilla. So far I've got 2 shimmers. This is 5 here. And hopefully we get some mattes here. So that is just a, vanilla shade shimmer. Perfect for the inner corner anyhow. Number 3 is shade number 18. So 15, 16, 17, oh my God. Birthday Cake, which is gorgeous, but another shimmer. I really hope I get some mattes, y'all. I don't know what I'm gonna do if I get all shimmers here. There is Birthday Cake swatched out. Such a pretty shade. I do love it. It's gorgeous. Come on for matte. 21. 5, 10, 15, 20. Finally, Honey Lavender, which is this really pretty pastel purple shade. I guess we'll swatch it next to that. That was a terrible swatch. All right, so there is Honey Lavender right here. Next is going to be, 21 again. We already did 21. 13. Oh God. Another shimmer. Cookie Dough, which is this kind of a bronzy shimmer. Oh my gosh, you guys. So there is Cookie Dough right there. Wow, okay. It's my last hope. 17. Blueberry Cheesecake. It's another shimmer. Holy cow. I'm kind of screwed here. So that is my color story, which really is not a terrible color story if like I had more than one matte. Alrighty then. I am going to think on this a moment to decide what it is I'm going to do with with that, and then we'll be back. Okay, so after a little thought, I think I only really have one option, and that is to do pretty much like a full-on cut crease. So I'm going to take the only matte I have, which is the Honey Lavender shade, and I'm going to put that shade in my crease, and then I'm going to do kind of a gradient with these shimmers. So I'm going to use this probably on the extreme outer portion of that cut crease, and then I'll go in with Gelato, which is this purple here, and I will then use Blueberry Cheesecake, which is this one here. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to use cookie dough on my bottom lash line, and I will use French vanilla in my inner corner. So that is my game plan, and we shall see what happens. I'm going to start by taking that Honey Lavender shade on, I think actually, you know what I think I'm first gonna do, because I really want to try to make that Honey Lavender shade pop as much as possible. I have already primed my eyes with my MAC paint pot. I always do that, but I'm going to put a little bit of my jumbo pencil from NYX in the shade Milk as well, because I do want this to be as bright as possible. So I'm just going to quickly, and I'm just going to do one eye today on camera, and then I'll do the other eye off camera in the hopes of keeping this video as reasonably lengthed as possible. Okay, so now that I have some of that down, we are just going to go ahead and pick up the Honey Lavender shade, which again is that only matte shade that I have. I'm going to pick that up, I think, on a fairly dense brush to start. I want to kind of lay down the shape first, and then we'll go in and blend it out. So I think I'm going to pick it up on this BH Cosmetics number 11 brush, and I am just going to kind of place it where I want it to start with, and then I'll come back and blend it out. So now that I just kind of have that down and it's just sitting there, I'm going to come in with my little Luxie 121 mini tapered blending, and I'm just going to pick up a little bit more of that shade, and I'm just going to kind of blend that top edge out a bit. I'm going to try to stay away from that bottom edge as much as I can because I want to keep that area clean, and I'm taking this pretty darn high, as you can see. Okay, that's it for the mattes. Let's go in now with, of course, my glitter primer. And we are going to lay down that wing shape. And then I guess just go for it. I don't really have any other choice. So I'm going to take some of that glitter primer, and now I'm just going to kind of slap it on in a cut crease style. I will just speed through this because this is going to take me forever. Alrighty, so starting with the shade Birthday Cake, which is that kind of green shimmer shade, I am just going to pick some of that up on my little angled brush here and start building the wing. That's a really pretty shade. Just got a text, I have to check that, sorry. With everything going on in here, I need to make sure it's nothing important. Alrighty, now I'm just going to add a bit more of this green. It's a really beautiful shade, isn't it? And then I'm going to pick up my brush that I used for the glitter primer, and I'm going to go into Gelato first, which is this shade here. And I'm just going to start applying that next to Birthday Cake, and then kind of blend them in together a bit. Then I feel like it's kind of dried because it took me so long. I'm just going to add a tiny bit more glitter primer in the inner portion here. And then we're going to go in with that other purple. Okay, now we're going to go in with Blueberry Cheesecake, which is this one right here. I'm just going to pick up a little bit more of the Birthday Cake shade. I'm just going to use another flat shading brush here to grab this, just because I want to blend these in a bit more together. And I'm just going to go back and forth between all the colors until I get a blend that I am happy with. Okay, I think that I'm happy with the way that is looking. I do want to come back here with a little bit more of the matte purple. I'm going to go in with an even smaller, pointier brush. I'm going to go in with just this little pencil brush from Lavish. And I just kind of want to make sure I get this exactly the shape I want it. And I think I'm actually going to wrap this around here into my inner corner, just so there's kind of like a purple base for me to put that vanilla shade over. I think that'll work. Let's go ahead and do the lower lash line. So for the lower lash line, I have that cookie dough shade. I do want to make sure it really does pop. So I am just going to use this same brush with a smidgen of glitter primer. And I'm going to pop that under my lower lash line. And then using the same brush, I'm going to go into cookie dough. And I'm just going to smudge that there where I placed the lash, or not the lash glue, oh my gosh, where I put that glitter primer. All right, and then for my inner corner, we are going to go into that vanilla shade. I am just going to pick that up on my Luxie 141 mini round brush. And we are going to pop that right there in the inner corner, making sure to blend it into kind of what's going on there on the lid and on the lower lashes there. Okay, so that is where the look is now. Is it odd? Yeah, it is. I may go in with a liner up here. We shall see. We shall see. I'm going to go do the other eye, finish my face makeup now that I have an eye look so I know what blush color to use and all of that. And then we will be back to look at the final look and do that comparison. Okay, so here is the final look. Okay, so here is everything all together. I'm actually pretty pleased with the way this turned out. If I was going to do it again, I would actually probably have taken cookie dough and exchanged it with those purples and put the purples underneath my lash line, but it's a little late for that now. It is what it is. On my, let's see, for my eyeliner, I used the shade Ox from Lethal Cosmetics, and my lips are Bodyography's pencil in Pouty and the GlamLite lip gloss in the shade Strawberry. This is also from this collection. It's the one that came like this. Super cute. Okay, so there's probably going to be some trumpeting happening. We all know that this was what happens in my videos. So now let's go into the comparison portion and talk about the shades that are similar. So between these two palettes, there are actually two shades that are the exact same shade name in each of these palettes. So both palettes have a chocolate and they both have a raspberry. However, I don't think that the shades are the same. They have the same name. They have the same name, but they don't look exactly alike, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So we're just going to go ahead and do some side-by-side swatch comparisons, and I can really see a difference here in real life because I did swatch these already just to kind of, when I was thinking about how to go about doing this video. And I found, like I said, that they're similar, but they're not exact dupes. So let's start with the ones that are the same names. We'll start with Raspberry, and we'll go into first the Ice Cream Dream palette. So here's Raspberry in the Ice Cream Dream palette. I'm just gonna pick that up on my finger here. And then here is Raspberry in the Cake palette. It's this shade right here. So here's what they look like on my fingers, and you can see that the Cake palette looks just a smidgen darker. So we'll go ahead and swatch them here on my arm. That's the Ice Cream palette there, and then right underneath it here, that is the Cake palette. And I don't know how that's picking up on camera, but in real life I can see that the Cake palette is definitely darker than the one in the Ice Cream Dreams palette. Next up, that have the same shade names, I'm gonna wipe my fingers off here. My fingers are just pink, they're just stained that color now, is the shade Chocolate. So Chocolate in the Ice Cream palette is up here. And even in the pan, this one looks like it might be a little more red toned. And then Chocolate in the Cake palette is down here. So we will again go ahead and swatch these. This is the Ice Cream palette here. And here is the Cake palette. And that is a definite difference, at least to my eye. This one definitely looks more red, where this one leans a little more cool toned. So I would say those are definitely like not dupes of one another. They definitely look different to my eye. All right, moving on to some other shades that do not have the same names but look similar. We're gonna, I think, continue with the mattes and then we'll move into shimmers. So the next ones that look kind of similar in the pan are the yellows. So there is the shade Mango. Let's actually go with Black Cherry. We'll just stick with these red tones first. Black Cherry. Let's go with Black Cherry from the Ice Cream palette. And then we're going to go with Cranberry from the Cake palette. I keep wanting to call it Birthday Cake. From the Cake palette. So this is Black Cherry, and then this one's Cranberry. I'll just go ahead and swatch those. Ooh, that one is very powdery. So there they are there. The top one is Black Cherry, the bottom one is Cranberry. Again, similar, but not the same at all. Next up, we will go with the yellows. So starting with Mango in the Ice Cream palette, which is this beautiful yellow here. And then Pineapple in the Cake palette, which is this yellow right up here. Now I think out of all of them, I think that these are the most similar. So here is, I've got Mango right here from Ice Cream, and here is Pineapple. So I think, like I said, those are the most similar out of all of them In real life, I think that mango is definitely more vibrant than pineapple. And I think as far as mattes go, those are the only ones. Well, let's go ahead and swatch the greens too. So in here we have pistachio, which is this shade here. And then in the cake palette, we have key lime. I think key lime is a little bit more, well, it's a little bit brighter green or darker green. I don't know what you want to say. So here's pistachio. Ooh. Again, it's a very soft shadow. And here is key lime. So those are those two swatched next to each other. I think key lime is definitely brighter, is a little bit darker shade than pistachio, but they are very similar, but definitely not the same. All right, now let's go with the shimmers. There really aren't very many redundant shimmers. We'll start with the purples because I feel like there's a lot of, those ones when it comes to the shimmers, I feel like there's some similarities there between them. I am going to swatch, I think we're going to swatch all three purples from this palette, and then we'll swatch the two that are in that palette. So we're gonna start with Taro here, and then this is Gelato, and then this is Blueberry Cheesecake. So we have, let's see here, we have Taro, Gelato, and Blueberry Cheesecake. Those are the three purples in this palette. And then in the birthday cake, or in the cake palette, I got birthdays on the brain. We have lavender and we have blueberry. So these are lavender and blueberry. So if anything, I feel like lavender is actually quite similar to Taro. But other than that, I don't think there's very many similarities there at all. And then lastly, we're going to go ahead and swatch the yellows. So in this palette here, we have the shade Lemon, which is this gorgeous kind of yellowy gold shade there. This is a beautiful shade. And then we have Banana over in this palette. Again, I think it's really pretty. I feel like just off the bat on the fingers that Lemon is definitely more vibrant than Banana. So Lemon will go here and then Banana. So this is Lemon and this is Banana. Lemon is definitely more reflective, I would say, but they are quite similar. So I think that's all the similar shades in between these two palettes. And while, like I said, while they are similar, I don't think that there's any outright dupes here at all. The closest ones I think are the yellows, although in real life, Banana is just a bit deeper than Lemon is. And then I feel like this shade here, which was Lavender and Taro, are also quite similar. Although Lavender does have a bit more purple in it, whereas Taro is a little bit more, has a little bit more red. If that makes any sense at all, I don't know. Anyways, so there they all are. I'm gonna dim the lights just so you can kind of see them in different lighting conditions here. There they all are next to each other. Right, so what do you guys think? Are they similar? Are they same? For me personally, I feel like I cannot sit down with each of these palettes and get the same look. There are, like I said, some very similar shades, but not in like a combination that I would typically choose to use together. I just don't feel like I could get the exact same look out of each of these palettes. So for me, I'm very, very happy to have both of them in my collection. Now, do you necessarily need both? Absolutely not. As far as quality goes, I think I like the shimmers in this palette just a little bit more than the ones in the cake palette. I still really love the cake palette and I'm very, very happy that I have it, but I do feel like the shimmers in this are just a little bit better. They're a little creamier, they're a little brighter, they're a little more sparkly. So if you are choosing between the two, I would probably go with the Ice Cream Dream palette. If you already have the cake palette and were eyeing this one, wondering if there were enough differences between the two, and you have the money and you were thinking you probably wanted to pick it up, you just weren't quite 100% sure if there were going to be too many redundant shades. I personally don't think that there are, and I'm very, very happy to have both of them in my collection. I think they each have a place. So that is everything for today's video. I hope that that comparison was helpful. Let me know down below if you need to see anything on the eyes or want to see anything on the eyes. If you want me to try to do a video using this palette on one eye and this palette on the other eye. I'm not sure how I might go about doing that. I guess I could probably come up with something with these shades for sure. So let me know if you do want to see that, because if you do, I can definitely go ahead and film that. And I think that's everything. So did you guys pick this palette up? Did you pick anything up from this collection? I would love to know. Do you have this palette? Do you love it as much as I do? Anyways, let me know down below. That is everything. I am going to go. Thank you guys so much for watching today. If you enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to hit that like button down below. While you're there, scooch on over, hit subscribe. Next to subscribe should be that bell. If you ring that bell, you should be notified of all of my uploads. And of course, you can also find me on Instagram at @SeeMyBliss_beauty. Sometimes. I haven't been there lately. Mental health. Anyhow, if you leave your house today, please, please, please don't forget to wear your mask, wash your hands, be kind to your friends, be kind to your neighbors, be kind to your family, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.